we can do that and have it be fair to everybody else. Kimte, okay? When interrupting with a button, be sure to follow up with 2 major rules. First one being interrupting the interrupting button on counter hit naturally combos into the sequence, blah, blah, blah. And the second rule being the interrupting sequence should act as a block string and I think I'm going to put and as a combo. Blah, blah, blah. I'm actually not going to recap any of this because I'm going to send it to you right now. You'll get tagged in the Discord. Bad habits. Bad habits. Too many delayed light attack setups. And if doing delayed light attack setup, follow up with the light attack, not the 6 frame. So hopefully Kimte for our first approach, this one's not bad. Guys, give me a real quick moment. I'm gonna run an ad. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'm gonna I'm gonna save his new shit, and then we're gonna hop to the next one. I promise. I'm working quickly. We won't be as long-winded on the next one either. I apologize for whoever is up next in the queue. If you are new to the stream, all subscribers get free replay analysis, and they can, and sometimes are as in-depth as that one. But that one was a great one as a teaching tool, just because of the fact that it was a good matchup and a lot of very good examples to talk on. A lot of good talking points. So keep queuing up. And if you guys really want to find a great way to support the stream, there's 2 different ways. First off, before we continue, there's 2 different ways. First off, be like me, I don't care. Turn on ad blocker. I will never run an ad. I promise I will never run an ad and that you miss anything important on. It's usually like an ad while I'm grabbing a drink, taking a leak, things that you either can't see or don't want to see, or both, right? That supports the stream now that Twitch has announced that Twitch affiliates actually get some of the ad money, which is kind of nice. Another great way to support the stream is simply say, hey, this dude named Sheldon looks a little strange, but he helped me out once upon a time. If you have Twitch Prime, feel free to subscribe and he'll take a look at your replays. It helps out the channel a lot. And it's probably the largest point in which, the replay analysis is probably the biggest point for subscribers, I want to say. So if you spread the word a little bit, it really does help me out a lot. So I'm getting the export on that. Kimte now has that follow. Hey, DDM, thank you for the cheer, buddy. DDM is in first place by a mile. Today's the 15th, can't forget. Okay, I'm going to run that ad real quick and grab a drink. And then we're going to hop to the next one. I'll catch up on the chat. I know I'm a little behind. Now, technically speaking, we're in an ad right now, which means that the people that can hear my voice, you're the people that kept your ad block on. You're my real enemy. How dare you deny me these pennies? Don't you know I have a child? How bad do you feel right now listening to my voice? Show yourselves in the chat. If you don't have an ad, you're a bad person. Not really. I don't blame you. I don't know why I'm whispering either. Kimte was a doozy. That one was a really, really good one. Probably gave him maybe too many notes, honestly. Maybe too many notes. $10.15. Are we back from the ad yet? Let's find out. You know what? Kimte's might be honestly too low quality in terms of the picture. You and I are pretty much good. We're good enough to train. Ask her, I'll just say good. It seems like you and I have decent connection and then we don't. All right, starting the next one. Now, like I said, I will keep my word and not be as long-winded on this one. It's also going to be a tough one to analyze because, yeah, these nuts, you've got quite the matchup ahead of you here. Standing fierce, you don't mind if the analysis is shorter and just general tips. I'm sure that's another way of saying, Sheldon, Jesus Christ. I feel bad for Kimte getting locked into that. One of these times, somebody's relative's gonna die, and you guys are gonna be like, I really gotta go.
Round one. Fight.
I'll be like, oh, 1 second. But 1 second. We just gotta talk about this. All right. So what are the 2 buttons we're worrying about in this matchup? One of the 2 are the main ones. Roundhouse, but not as much as roundhouse as we are with standing fierce, right? And DDM is a nightmare, a humble nightmare at that, in that he is going to pressure and pressure and pressure and then pressure you some more with standing fierce, as we're about to see. So how do we handle that? We first off want to close the distance. So I like that you're being pretty patient overall in your approach, but after the whipped crouching medium kick, I would prefer you to kind of hold your ground a little bit closer. Versus Chun-Li, every Akuma player needs to practice and sharpen up on their whiff punishing skills versus the standing fierce, as well as the standing heavy kick. Typically speaking, standing medium kick is what you're going to buffer for the punish with and for the whiff punish with, and that's going to be buffered. If you want to be extra safe on it, you always have medium kick tots to guarantee it to travel forward because it is a far-reaching whiff punish. But usually light kick tots is going to be there for you, to be honest. So overall, good fireball. Good approach, good little pokes, and then we eat the very first one. Now, when you eat the very first attack, there's no big deal on that, right? It's just, we're back to the neutral. You just don't want to eat several. Okay, so he whiffs the first one, and this is what I mean by the whiff punish here. Ready? So after you eat the first one, boom, right? Let's double tap through these frames. Okay, we're back to the neutral. And he goes for the second one right away. Okay, and then you can see that the hitbox here is pretty good. And the hurt box isn't too far extended because she's reaching her whole body forward. You can meet it with your standing medium kick, but we can just see, look how many frames we were behind. So we're just going to need to sharpen that up. And one thing you're going to be looking for versus any opponent, especially round one, you know, taking data and all that, is what are they doing? That's fantastic, standing fierce. In what pattern are they doing things? In what pattern do they throw fireballs? In what pattern do they poke with their long range normals, etc.? In this case, DDM hits you once and then tries for a second. You catch him preemptively. I want to know, though, what did you actually catch him on? Okay, so your stand fierce beat his. Forward dash throw, which I like. I love the forward dash throw as option 1. Is this game 1, by the way? Let me know. And if it is game 1, I love the option of throw. And if it's not game 1, I still like it, but the option of throw right there, too many times people block. In fact, this range right here is my most successful range for throw. If you were to look at every game I've ever played, what throws land the most? It's this one right here, the one that's halfway between the corner and the middle of the screen, because people are thinking, man, if I get hit again, I'm going to be in the corner. And it's just not worth it typically to tech right here. So take advantage of the throw. In this case, after forward throw, DDM says, you know what, I bet he doesn't have an option for this shit. We should, right? If you're going to catch him on the ground, you have to go crouch to medium punch into medium kick tatsus. These nuts. You have to. And it's not fun because it's like you have to know that you got the timing perfect. Or alternatively speaking, you could just medium punch DP him in the air. So we dropped the combo, unfortunately. Oh, we got to have that down. Cannot risk that. Though, after we missed the standing fierce confirm, I need you to do essentially what I'm starting to see, which is to, okay, I missed it, but I don't want to see a panic, right? I don't want, you have Chun down to half her health, and I don't want to see you lose all control of fundamentals just trying to get that last 400 or so health. And that's essentially what we don't see, so that's good. So again, after one block standing fierce, you're +5, right? But what does +5 really mean at this range? Not much more than movement. And you try for crouching medium kick, and you know what? You are so close to actually getting her. So that's really not a bad option. Walk forward, crouch medium kick, look for the counter hit. So close. In fact, you were so close that you hit each other on the same frame. Pop quiz for you beginners. Why is it that Z's nuts did not hit Chun-Li, but Chun-Li hit Z's nuts? Dum 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 ba-dum dum dum. That's crazy that you're that close. Priority system in Street Fighter V means that a light attack that is active on the same frame as a medium attack, the medium attack will always beat the light attack. There will be no trade, okay? In this case, a medium attack that is active on the same frame as a fierce or heavy attack will always lose to the heavy attack. There is no trade. A special attack that is active on the same frame as a heavy attack will always beat most likely, always beat a normal, the attack, regular normal attack words. So, Z's Nuts has the right timing, the wrong priority, but he did the right button. He just needed to do it one frame faster. That's it. So, priority system. Okay. So, first fireball. How stale is the fireball? Let's find out. What makes this a bad fireball? One fireball. That's good. That fireball we need to be a little bit more careful. When you really think about how far into Chun's jump Chun was by the time we threw that fireball, something to think on, right? Chun is walking forward, and actually that slight walk forward there would be enough to probably trick me to throw the fireball. He's not just jumping, like, you know what I mean? The way that DDM just set that jump up is kind of masterful in that regard. So it's like a little bit of a walk, walk back a little bit, and then jump. It's, oh God, that jump is disgusting. A lot of people head off their jumps, right? Where they do a walk forward and then they jump into their jump arc. Or they go from crouch blocking, then they jump. Or they go from crouch blocking, they walk into their ideal range for the jump, and then they jump. DDM, he's got this really solid jump timing that is basically black magic. I mean, brutal. And then just like you did to him, he does to you. You eat the forward throw. Very good timing on the immediate attacks and good defense from you. We're going to probably be thinking, obviously, about our V-trigger activation here. That one is probably a little hopeful. I get why we're doing it. Stun preservation. And it gives you a free activation, so that's good. Solid. Okay. Even better to parry it. Even better to parry the ones that strike you, right? So fierce, V-trigger activate. You see the best way, and there's two ways you can look at it, right? There's two ways you can identify a V reversal. Pop, pop, activate. You can look at her meter. You can look at her. You can look at the pop-up. I don't care what you look at. What I need you to do, though, ideally speaking, is it would hurt a lot more if you parried here. And you are good to parry for a long time. The throw, though, works. The throw does work. But parrying, so much better. I think that's more of the travel. Jiminy Boy, that's why I said sometimes. There are exceptions. There are exceptions. And it really starts to get technical because we're talking about different specials on different things. So parry, either way, is better here. Maybe going to the well a little too much with the standing fierce. Like any more than this one right here. And I'm going to be like, okay, what are we doing, man? I like the timing of your V-trigger fireball. I don't like the air fireball. The air fireball is tired. It's tired of being used all the time. And this is about as good as you're going to get it versus DDM. Another V reversal. However, While I don't have all of my homework done here, I know I have seen a number of Akumas do this exact sort of situation. And if DDM V reversals, as he does. Okay, wait, I can count the frames.
Not done yet.
Yep, you could parry. So if they V reversal your air fireball, go for the parry. Worst thing that happens is you get hit by a V reversal. Big deal. Yeah, parry him, and then you had him right here as well. So you're +2 after blocking it, but you could have parried and killed, which is insane. I know. I realized that I just said everybody stop doing the air fireballs, and then I immediately followed up by saying, guess what, though? If they do happen to V reversal it, which we all know happens all the time, by all means, parry. And then you can get way more damage. It's kind of broken, and enjoy it while it lasts, but it's probably not here to stay. The crouch medium kick fireball, stand fierce. Follow up. So these nuts really the
Don't hold a grudge, okay?
DDM. If you're gonna kill him, you're gonna have to pull out every resource, and that's going to include, sadly, having to parry those V reversals. Also, nobody show DDM this tape, please. And DDM is one of those guys that doesn't mind spending that entire meter early. I don't really blame him. You get a setup here, right? But you got to be careful when Chun has, as we all know, when Chun has her standing, her critical R on deck, standing fierce becomes a threat, and back fierce is just not something that we can afford to whiff, because that is about 10 million frames when you really count them out, somewhere around 10 million, or like 26 at the very least, right? So with Inhuman reaction. By the way, if you've ever wondered, real quickly, if you've ever wondered how do you judge human reaction, just play a replay with frame trapped on helps, but just play a replay that you've really seen before. Okay, and hit the pause button when you feel like you can react to the whiff punish, right? So if I see back fierce, it's right there. It's about right there. About right there, right? If I'm in the tournament and adrenaline's pumping, maybe a couple frames sooner. But how do you judge human reaction and therefore your risk reward? That's a clever little trick. If you ever wonder those kind of things like I do, what really is possible to react to? This is definitely, right? 12 frames. That on the reaction, that is a very easy. Godly cookie, no. But you have missed a lot of great sets so far. DDM has a lot of follow-ups. Chun has a lot of follow-ups. This is one of the less common ones. Well, more common to hold up forward, or even the V skill, I believe. In this case, DDM holds up forward, gives you the late stomp. Blocked on one side is perfect, but what we now know is that when you block it on one side, definitely don't try to throw them. I know that's just like kind of one of those panic things, but they go to the other side for the cross up. So your option here, anti-air. Get creative with it. I don't care. Just do what you got to do. But we don't want to get tagged. Nope, not gonna work versus him. He drops his combo actually, but he has almost nothing to lose here, right? Nothing to lose, everything to gain. So better for you to, I mean, you can't get hit if you block, right? Cannot get hit if you block. You can get thrown, but the thrown will not kill you, and then the throw resets back to the neutral, so you're fine to bleed off the stun. So if really calculated, this EXDP doesn't solve much. It's a wishing well, hopeful EXDP, as a lot of them tend to be on your wake up, but especially this one, because it spends a bar just to kill you. If you had a little bit more patience, the worst you do is you eat a throw. The very worst. EDM drops his combo. We continue. The low attack. Never forget the reason why we like the meaties, right? The standing light kick, and then you check them low. Boom, right here, low. Crushing light punch, light kick Tatsu, because we know we hit him low. And we can confirm stand easily enough. Light kick Tatsu, right? And then anything you want, really. I would probably go for some nasty setups, but either way, whatever knockdown that you would have gotten would have built his meter. So you're thinking about EX spinning bird kick regardless, and that is never fun. Good continuation regardless on the almost an anti-air there. You need to throw the medium V-trigger fireball, and that would have anti-aired. And then you actually get, if you can anti-air like that, you can microset forward fierce V-trigger. But that's not something you really train for. It's got to be something you can feel out after like several thousands of games of being comfortable with your own fireball speeds. Careful with how much we're pressing forward and now whiffing. I like, though, that you have a natural instinct that we're looking at. Here's these nuts, and that is after you whiff a button, you know you're guilty. And that is one thing that I can't, it's so hard to teach. You whiff that standing medium kick, and DDM is doing whatever he wants to do. Patient as hell. He's basically saying, go ahead and move. First person move loses almost. But you whiff that standing medium kick, and you immediately go, ooh, I screwed up into the blocking position. You don't overpress. You don't try to, boom, good. Light V triggered DP here. You go right into the block. So you go on the side of caution, and that is something I'm trying to teach a few different Akumas right now. And if you're hearing my voice and you're thinking that might be me he's talking about, chances are it is. Light DP when you're in V trigger in that combos. So sadly we dropped the combo. Air fireball. Ooh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Look at this. Who else can adjust mid replay? I've never seen you guys adjust to my advice mid replay. Sadly we dropped the combo though. Right here, honestly, this is a huge combo if you want it. I mean, if you really want to spend all 3 bars, no conversion, like no scaling, then you have, stand medium kick, light kick tatsu, light DP, critical art. Well, that's actually more scaling than needed. Or do stand fierce, critical art, or just do critical art, go crazy. Or you try to preserve and work on Oki, which probably is the side I would have taken. I would have probably went for, versus I would have given him a combo that considers his meter, right? His meter is halfway there. I don't want to worry about on his first wake up here on a correct punish about him having a bar. So I'm going to give him a combo that doesn't do too much damage. I'm going to basically, as I'm doing the combo, I'm going to be staring at his meter. Sadly, we dropped that. And then that's the end of the story. These nuts.
Chun-Li wins.
Hard to make a file on that one. Let me reflect for a second, chat. What do you think? Yeah, I think it was spacing. Jiminy boy, I think you're correct. The standing medium kick was enough to be blocked but not connect. I hate that. Can we check if you blocked it on the spacing? Yeah, man. Let's watch the entire replay again.
Round 1. Fight.
Bop. Ba-dum, dum, dum.
Round 2.
Can't fast forward, can you? Oh, you can. Hyper fighting. Looks like the start of every battle lounge ever. Jumping in after the standing fear is not a good idea. Almost. And then we have the stare off of the sentry. Boom. Light DP. Unfortunate. Negative 16 as well. Oh, we could have just straight up killed you. Air. Bomb. I wish you'd stop doing that to him though, because I'm gonna need those tricks if I ever need to beat him in tournament. You guys cannot be doing that. Yeah, this is the spacing. This screams spacing. And the reason is because look at Chun. Look how far back she is. See? And so why is she's able to block it? Well, because she crouch blocks after this. So watch, 1 frame later, she crouch blocks. She's wider. So if you've ever felt like, man, that standing medium kick, it feels like that I did the right timing and they were able to block it. So it must have connected. Now it's not that linear. It's not that straightforward. It is, but it isn't. And one of the major reasons and one of the tells here, beyond the visual tell, I honestly rely on just the visual at this point. I've screwed it up enough. Okay, I screwed it up enough. But the visual tell, beyond the visual tell, is the fact that her V skill, or rather her V reversal, pushes her whole body forward and then pulls back. Okay, so we parry the forward when she's really close, then she pulls back. And then she gets tagged by the crouch medium punch, pushes back further, and now suddenly it's clear as day. I'm not gonna lie, these nuts. In two parts of this replay, things go horrible for you in almost a not controllable way, right? For instance, that's hilariously close. And also the same frame crouch medium kick counter to the standing fierce. These nuts, I need more from you. In fact, I say we play a set either tonight, tomorrow, and then I'm gonna give you a proper. You're gonna be the first person to not get a file because that was actually just really well played.
Chun-Li wins.
It was really well played. You got outplayed in a few areas, right? We know about the Chun-Li thing. I'm not going to mark down in your file. Remember that when DDM does one critical art against you, holds up forward, then does a late dive kick that you're going to have to block cross up. That's not something that is going to massively improve your Akuma. Rather, either I could continue to watch your replays or I can play you, and by playing you, I get a much, much better grasp of where I feel you're lacking. Or where I feel you can improve. So congrats, you waited all the time for no file. I'm sorry. At the same time, I'm not going to give you a file if it is a waste. However, you are on setup for the future. ZS. Did you watch me and DDM face off the other day? Very, very, very well played. All right, so these nuts is done. Karudo says just do what you want. Got you, Karudo. All right, so I got your file all started. Let's begin. Okay, so round one, right at the beginning. I like that you walk forward, you crouch block, you're looking to see what he's doing, right? Throw one fireball, what's the message that we're sending? Okay, everything in Street Fighter is a nice little conversation, right? Everything is a conversation. So you throw a fireball, you just texted your best friend Birdie, whether you like him or not. You say, hey man, I'm throwing fireballs. He blocks it and he says, all right, okay, cool. So that's one message sent. Now, if the natural counter to fireballs is either to jump over them, or Birdie has a charge move where he'll fly up into the sky and into you as well. If there's a natural counter for that, then Birdie's going to be kind of thinking about that in the back of his mind, naturally, right? So you throw one fireball. So remember, fireballs are a conversation. What does Birdie do immediately? If we're looking for player habits, first off, if you throw one fireball and your opponent blocks it and that's just immediately the ground is lava, well, we know that it's not going to be too hard to anti-air them, is it? He's handing it to you, right? So at the very beginning, we are 2 seconds in, barely, into a round. And one proper fireball has let us know that this guy has no interest in hanging out on the ground at all. So you got to be careful with your fireballs, right? And we got to go for, oops, let's go ahead and turn your inputs on so I can at least see if you screwed up. Okay, right here. So the second fireball is the mistake, right? At this level, I will say, Karudo, it's very, 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 how should I put this? Assume the worst of everybody. Assume the worst in everybody, okay? Even if you think there's no way that dude's going to jump, wake up EXDP, sweep, blah, 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 blah. Every bad habit you can imagine, start heroin, I don't care. They are going to do it inside of the first round, inside of the first 3 seconds even. This guy is no exception. You throw one fireball. You even waited a little bit, but sadly, the second one gets eaten. So remember, every fireball's conversation. And now he's let you know. You need to be hearing what he's saying as well. He's texted you back and said, hey, just jumping in for a little bit. So you need to text him back and say, hey, not going to continue throwing fireballs because I feel you're a little bit too jumpy. In reality, what I need you to do is kind of fake fireball. So we're going to do fake fireball motion. So something to focus on. Very basic. It's basic. 1 second. Something to focus on, all right? What else? Fake fireball motion. I just want to talk on this really quickly. The fake fireball. Fake fireball is not an actual move in the game. It's simply the idea is to do something that looks like a move. So we know that every fireball has a quarter circle forward before it and then a punch. Quarter circle forward. If you do that motion really slow, what does it look like? Your Akuma dips down, he crouches, and then comes back up and throws a fireball. He dips down, comes back up, throws a fireball. That's what a fireball motion looks like. Now you can do a fireball motion if you do it like instantly. Type it in as fast as you can, like really, really fast. Just 1, 2, 2, just boom, boom, boom. You won't see Akuma actually dip down. Regardless, he dips down, throws a fireball when you throw. That's the motion. Okay. So if you're gonna fake fireball, there's a few different motions you can do. There's a few different things. First off, we've talked about this in somebody else's file recently, but basic one is just simply whiff a short button, a button that's short in animation. So whiff light punch. That's like the first style of it. Whoops. The second one of my favorite ones, is to quickly tap down. So down, stand back up. I can just say down and then standing light kicking. I think you'll know what I mean. And this is kind of to simulate the quarter circle forward and then coming back up with a fireball. So you crouch, fireball, crouch, standing light kick. What does your opponent do? If they take to that, well, we got them that easily, right? Absolutely, though, since you are in bronze, medium DP as your main anti-air option. 100%. No questions asked. Well, it's supposed to be a DP? Okay, well, erase everything I just said. Okay, so. Dum. Okay, that is a punishable button right there. Why does frame trap show it as? Is that really 0? That's not 0, is it? Frame trap high? His standing heavy kick is 0? Somebody in the chat, tell me, what's Birdie's standing heavy kick on block? It's not actually 0, is it? Zero? Why did I think that? At the very least, I would have thought -2. Wow. Huh. Well, I'm wrong every once in a while. I'm more than that probably. So not punishable. But either way, 0 and he's up close. Now 0 to Birdie up close. Birdie's got really slow normals. Okay, so that means the startup of all of his everything is slower than the startup of most of your stuff. So if you are 0 and he's 0 and you guys are up close, nice and snuggling like that, your quick button, your standing light punch is going to be his anything he does. So we don't want to go for something like crouching heavy kick. Crouching heavy kick is on hit, a knockdown. On block, guaranteed punish. What's going to happen more often than not? You're going to get blocked and punished. Bronze players will be on punishing this. Super bronze will be a little bit better. Ultra bronze a little bit better. Silver players a little bit better at punishing it. And just as you see people better and better at punishing crouching heavy kick, the less crouching heavy kick you see. Why? Because people are dying from it. Okay? So we want to get rid of crouching heavy kick altogether as a button that we just go to because it's always punishable. Always punishable. So that was his very first punish. So we went to the crouching heavy kick. So one bad habit that we're going to want to get rid of right away is that crouching heavy kick. Okay, and then the 2 fireball motion, the 2 fireball pattern. You told him once. Remember that's the conversation. 1 fireball. Hey, and then here's another one. We didn't give him a chance. We didn't give it a chance to feel out in between, right? He said, "Hey, what's up? I'm throwing fireballs." And then immediately, "Hey, I'm throwing fireballs," right? But you can see, whereas if you would have kind of inserted in between those 2 fireballs, the things that we just talked about, the fake fireball, where you like whiff a standing light punch, then look, see what he does. Or if you kind of like tap down and then hit standing light kick, look to see what he does. You're going to see Birdie take to the air, guaranteed. And this doesn't happen. Okay, we do get crush countered, right? Because we're pressing buttons. So the only reason the crush counter happens is because he dropped his combo, right? Naturally, this jump in right here, bump, is a regular combo. Okay, but if we get crush counter, that means we got hit, typically speaking, I'd prefer if you got hit in your mid combo, because people drop combos like crazy down in bronze, and execution gets better naturally as your rank progresses. I'd prefer you just to crouch block during, if you identify the fact, okay, I am physically being hit right now, just crouch block throughout the entire combo. That way, if they screw up and they drop something, you're ready to block it, and this crouching heavy kick as a crush counter never happens. Because this crouching heavy kick is a crush counter, it has a special property, as do all crouching heavy kicks in the game. When crouching heavy kicks are crush countered, that means they are a heavy knockdown, which means you cannot quick rise, you cannot back rise, you rise as the game tells you. You don't get to vary your rising timing nor distance. They are super rewarding knockdowns, as they should be, because it's super unsafe to do a crouching heavy kick, as we just discussed. They're super rewarding knockdowns. So you are in extra trouble when you get crush countered. And then we get crush countered again. So wake up buttons this time. Almost have to kind of look at your buttons more in slow-mo. Yeah, we're mashing like crazy. I want you to block. Defense, defense, defense. Okay. All right, so the last three things, last three times you get tagged was all on your end, right? Pressing buttons, not prioritizing defense. So going into round two, that's going to be the very first thing that we add in, is bad habits and things to focus on. I don't know how I'm going to end up. Bad habits. Well, I put a colon on yours, so put another one right there. Too many buttons on wake up. Oh, you can't see any of this. Good job, Sheldon. Too many buttons on wake up from your bad habits, right? So, something I want you to focus on. What's a winning situation in defense? Counting your wins. Okay, counting your wins is a mindset that I really try to teach basically anybody I've ever trained in Street Fighter. Counting your wins. Okay, so in the defensive situation, let's pretend the defensive situation is you're waking up, right? You're waking up and your opponent is doing their melee attacks. They're starting their block string. A win for you in that situation is not to interrupt it with your own button. It is simply to block until you get back to the neutral. Because every normal you block pushes you back a little bit further. Every normal you block pushes you back a little bit further. Eventually, the pushback on block becomes so vast that you're both back to the neutral. Okay? That is a win. Okay? I don't want you thinking about when you're blocking, trying to win the round, trying to retake your advantage, trying to hit him back or whatever. I want you to be thinking, all right, Karuto, to get out of this in a winning situation, I need to block until I get back to the neutral, and then we can try to figure things out. I don't need to press buttons, hopefully, or rather hoping just maybe something will work out, right? If you're just waking up with buttons and you're not even really sure what you're trying to interrupt from your opponent, you're just trying to wake up with buttons, that's going to result in you getting hit a lot. So I want you to count your wins in everything you do. If you get an anti-air, that's a little win right there, right? You're able to properly anti-air. Same goes if you bait the jumps. We're talking about the fireballs. Throwing two fireballs in a row, not a great option. We want to throw one fireball. Remember, it's conversation, kind of small talk in the middle, and see if we can't bait out another fireball. So count your wins like that. I threw a good fireball. You got him to block it. That's a winning fireball. If the fireball hits, even more so. But we don't need to focus on it's too easily, as players, especially newer players, they tend to focus on winning the game or winning the round, and they're too easily tilted one way or the other. Oh God, I'm getting hit, so I'm mashing buttons, or I'm finally hitting them. Maybe I drop my combo because you get overexcited. I don't know. Usually it's the defensive end where people struggle. Oh God, I'm getting hit, or oh God, it's my turn to wake up and I gotta do something. That's not the way to win. Okay, the way to win is to block and get back to the neutral. So counting your wins is the mindset that you need. Don't count the round, don't count the game, don't count the first to two, don't count your rank, don't count your damn points. None of that matters. It's all just a side effect of you doing proper fundamental things. I've said that line so many times with so many players, and I mean it every time I say it. You have to start defensive and fundamentally strong. You got to start there. Have to. So Every wake up from you, I want you to highly focus on. Sheldon says, block until I can get back to the neutral. Okay? So block it out. Dum 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 bum bum bum. Okay, so that's a wild thing right there from him. That's insane. If there was a fireball for him to react to, then maybe, but otherwise, nah. And also, he's going for crushing heavy kick. So these are things that if I see my opponent do, you can't let them tilt you. You just got to know, okay, that's unsafe. I get tagged low. Next time, if I block it, though, I get a full punish. Okay, now he struck you, so he's going for the throw. Basically, he's like, okay, I hit you with a major button. I bet you'll block now. It's just kind of like a rock, paper, scissors, right? Somebody throws, you both throw scissors. Well, maybe the next time one of you throws rock, okay? So in this case, he hits you, and then he's like, I bet you'll throw. I bet you'll block. So it block is beaten by throw. That's a continuation. And now we're just stuck throw teching, right? You're mashing out throw tech like you're basically just losing rock, paper, scissors right here. There's another option. I don't want you to go for it that often. You do have your EXDP if you get tired of this nonsense. The only thing that EXDP loses to is if he blocks himself. You're not going to see a whole lot of blocking happen on offense at this level. You're just not, okay? And I also don't want to see a whole lot of EXDPs happen on your wake up at the same time. I'd rather you go by what I first said there. You can eat a few throws. Throws don't do a whole lot of damage. Command throws, that's a different subject. But regular throws, they don't do a whole lot of damage. Right here, I need you to guard like crazy. Focus on your defense. So, for instance, that medium punch DP right there, totally fake. Doesn't work in real life. And he spends all of his meters. So, pop quiz for the lower ranks out there. Best way to punish. One of the best ways to punish, I should say. What things to consider when punishing? Right here. Map advantage. Okay, so we need stand medium kick, V-skill launcher. Light kick Tatsu to swing underneath him. Heavy kick Tatsu to put him in the corner. And now a bunch stronger Akumas say, yes, Sheldon, but look at his meter. How should he spend his meter? If you want to activate your V-trigger, this is a little bit more tricky. A lot more tricky. Stand medium kick, V-skill launcher. Heavy punch DP, second hit activate, forward dash, light V trigger DP. If you landed that in bronze, I feel like you should automatically level up to like gold or something. In reality, I just want you to do a punish combo, okay? He did something massively unsafe, blew all 3 bars on it. That's a very winning situation for you, so that's counting a win right there. Now we need to count the next win, which is the map advantage punish. So I need that stand medium kick into V-skill launcher, light kick Tatsu to whiff around to the other side of him, heavy kick Tatsu. Suddenly Birdie's waking up in the corner, and we still have our V-trigger to activate and all kinds of stuff. So unfortunate drop, sadly, so we're going to have to work on our execution. I'm going to write down a few combos for you to work on in your file before I share it with you. Don't let me forget that. Okay, so yeah, we're just going crazy. And this isn't unique to you. Don't be watching this and going, oh my God, how could I? Because if you don't have that feeling, while watching this, then there's the problem, right? You can't just be watching this and going, not bad, Karuto, right? The whole point is to look at it and go, what the hell did I do? Was this really my gameplay? For instance, right there, crouch medium punch directly into medium punch DP. Not anything we ever want because we have no idea if that crouch medium punch hit. And if it was blocked, then you're dead. So we need to block strings and hit confirms. We call it a hit confirm because we're confirming that it hit. And if it didn't hit, then we don't commit to the special attack typically, to an unsafe special attack. So in this case, we're really hyperactive with our inputs, really hyperactive. I need you to refine them. Best way I usually put it is something like your execution is like your weapon, right? So if you imagine that you and some weeaboo are outside and you're like, I'm going to samurai duel you, and next week, sharpen your blade. And he says, okay. And your opponent doesn't sharpen their blade, it's dull as hell. You do. spend all day working on your execution. You can still beat somebody with a blunt object. You have to swing a lot harder. It's going to take a lot more attempts, perhaps. A lot easier, though, if your execution is nice and sharpened, and every time you touch the person, you make it count. So, bread and butter combos, execution, keeping your hands relaxed. This is more stuff in the lab that you're going to need to eventually work into your gameplay. Hyperactive buttons is very, very common. I need you to view your offense like it's just a sharp attack. When I strike them, I'm going to make it fundamentally strong. I'm going to make it count. I'm going to consider map advantage. Carrying them to the corner is what I mean when I say that, by the way. And I'm going to try not to drop it. That is what we need at this stage. Eventually, we'll talk about meaty follow-ups and things like that. But right now, we need conversion and fundamentally strong hit confirms. So, for instance, like right here, the standing strong, there's no chance in which that will put you in a winning situation. If you're going to do a crouching heavy kick, the only way to make it safe is if you do the V-trigger activate. So you need to activate right there. And if we are going to forward throw, we keep map. Sorry if we're going to give away the answer. If we're going to throw, we want to keep map advantage in mind at all time. So right here, when we throw, we don't want to go, by all means, birdie, let me be in the corner. We want to forward throw them and keep birdie in the corner. Okay, so even on this strike right here, I'm going to write down some hit confirms for you. Even on this strike, if the birdie player had just, I don't know, decided to block and you did this, right, it would still come out as standing medium kick like Yutatsu, and you'd be dead. There would be no way for you to make that safe. There'd be just no way. So that's why first we would do something like crouching medium punch, standing medium kick. Then we've done 2 attacks, and if crouching medium punch hits, it combos into standing medium kick. And then we have enough human reaction time to go, oh, those 2 attacks hit, let's cancel it into like Tatsu. And then it's a hit confirm rather than a wish confirm or a hopeful confirm, or if hey, maybe this works, maybe it doesn't, right? So we're gonna work on that. Everybody starts here. Everybody starts here. Some of the best advice I still remind myself is I remember one time we were all sitting in a circle really quickly. Street Fighter 4 days. Really, Sheldon was brand new to fighting games. Street Fighter 4 days. I'm all excited. Hey, I met this new person's house and I don't know these 7 other people. And we're playing hot seat. So essentially, winner stays on, right? And it's finally my turn to fight the person that's been in the seat for way too damn long. And there comes a point, and I'm very, very new, but there comes a point where I am visually and audibly hitting these buttons at such a rate that 2 people, as if they had rehearsed it, said simultaneously, man, calm down. You were like, bro, calm down, like middle of match. And it made me stop and go, yeah, why am I mashing all these buttons like insanely? Wouldn't it make a little bit more sense, like if I was a bit more calculated about some of this stuff? And every once in a while in my matches, I'll look at my, or mid-match, that I'll hear that again in my memory, right? And I'll just be like, yeah, I kind of am a little bit too hyperactive in this area or that area. In your area, you're just where I am in Street Fighter 4, going crazy. Okay, so we're going to be working on our anti-airs because we're getting jumped in on for free, and we've already talked about the crouching heavy kick. Dum-da-dum-dum, and then we get tagged, and then tagged and tagged and tagged again. None of this was a combo. None of those things were strung together as a combo. None of it linked. None of it. So if we blocked after this jab, he dropped his combo, so you would have blocked the second attack. But so we get counter hit because you're trying to press buttons. And right here, if we blocked, we wouldn't have been counter hit. And right here, he drops his combo for a number of 4 times in a row, or 3 times. I'm not gonna count it. Oh my God. Let's go. Let's make this as bronze as it could be. Let's go. Crouching medium punch, not standing medium punch. Crouching medium punch. I'm gonna write down in your file a bunch of block strings and therefore hit confirms that we're gonna have you work on. Yeah, you actually have a kill here. Okay, you win either way. I will say, you're both in bronze, right? And in a way, we all lose when we're in bronze. We all lose. Even if you win, that's still a loss, right? Because we have to have a fundamental like foundation. So you could, let's say you won somehow 100 times in a row with those tactics, and then you step into gold or something, and the first gold player is going to go, whoa, who let this dude out, right? So we're going to talk about, we're not watching that again. We're going to write down some basic hit confirms, some really, and this is, when I say hit confirms, this is going to be the things that you're doing against your opponent when they're knocked down, when you're up close to them, any of those kind of situations, okay? So, things to focus on. Let's really quickly get this, and then in the queue we have peripheral wiggles, and then I think we're at the end of sub-replay analysis unless there are more. If so, use the command to queue up. All right, so bad habits. Hyper hands. Calm your buttons. Block and just breathe. Just breathe, chill out. Try to have a purpose behind every button. No visual confirmation on a combo. So on hit, don't commit to unsafe specials because they're hopeful otherwise. So what I mean by that is if you do one crouching medium punch and you go directly into a DP, did you really know that crouching medium punch hit, or are you just going to do that DP anyway? The answer is you're going to do it anyway because there's no way you're going to visually confirm something like that, especially when it's done in the special cancel window. So, things to focus on. And I'm just going to belt these ones out, and it'll be on you to look more deeply into this topic, okay? Hit confirms and combos. Hit confirms, block strings, and combos. These are all pretty much one and the same. We're going to start with basic one. Crouch medium punch is one of your strongest, most fundamental buttons as Akuma. I'm going to zoom in just a tad here. Crouch medium punch. So you have a bunch that starts from it, okay? So I'm going to say crouching medium punch starters, and don't count the first crouching medium punch, right? So each one of these is its own. Crouch medium punch. Crouch medium punch. Stand medium punch. Cancel into light RFB, light red fireball, okay? Crouch medium punch. Crouch medium punch. Stand medium kick, okay? So if crouch medium punch hits, then you go into stand medium kick. Well, you go into stand medium kick regardless. But if crouch medium punch hits, it'll combo into stand medium kick, and then you'd go into, you know, something basic like kick tatsu, into heavy kick tatsu. These are things I need you to practice in the lab. But if on block, you don't go, you would not, on block, you would stop on the standing medium kick, okay? On block, you can do this one because it crouch medium punch, standing medium punch, pushes you far out enough for the light red fireball to be safe on block. But if you did standing medium punch into like, you know, tatsu or something crazy, it's gonna be unsafe. So these are hit confirms and block strings. They start as block strings, and if they don't end up hitting, that's fine. It's fine to just do it as a block string. Anything else? What else for crouch medium punch? What's the actual button for? Just enter. Crouch medium punch. Crouch medium kick. That's a fine one to do. And you know what? Screw this whole starters. I'm just gonna do random. That's a bit too much, so I'll fix that in a second. I'm gonna do random ones. Just for you to just focus on. You can run through this list. I'll format this a little bit better for you. All right, the destroyed set. Let's go. I like that. Much prefer. We're looking for a Ken. So, Ken versus Wiggles. Wiggles has made quite the stride in his gameplay recently, gone from base gold to pushing the upper levels of almost plat now. A lot of adaptation you have to make in your gameplay.
Come on. Let's turn up. Round 1.
To a lot of adjustments Wiggles has made right at the start. For instance, right at the beginning. Oh my god. All right, so right at the beginning, Ken just lets you know. This guy apparently goes to the next level as well. Well, he's in the dojo. I can guarantee you, whoever this Ken player is, they have no business doing whatever it is that they think they're doing at the start of the. I guarantee you, they have no business doing what they are doing. But regardless, let's follow. Don't just close the distance on him if he's going to taunt. Right, there's a number of frames, a taunt window where you can actually cancel the taunt, but it's quite a few. Right, so he taunts you, and there's several frames until you can cancel it. So do close the distance, but do it with caution, or just throw a fireball right here. Don't walk back. I recognize you're like, is this dude really doing this? Definitely don't backdash.
Show me a real attack.
Okay, so very quick to jump in on the fireball. And what else I would like to see at your level especially, these fireballs are chipping you away when they could be doing, they could be building your V meter. So I need you to absorb. This is actually in your chart already. V skill fireballs when V meter isn't full. Dun, dun, dun. So I need you to V skill these fireballs because otherwise they're chipping you away. He's building meter, his CA meter, and chipping you. You could be building your V meter. Like so, block 2 fireballs and we jump right in way too quick for it. But either way, we know now that he's ready to anti-air. That was another fireball. After this fireball right here, dum dum dum, knock down. Fireball. Okay, he's +8, but he's not plus dash in, right? So this needs to send a signal. Something needs to fire off in your head when you see this. And crouch medium kick fireball. So if somebody dashes into my crouching medium kick range, I'm just gonna give them what they are asking for. It doesn't have to hit, but it is a block string, which is a winning situation for you. Either way, good patience. Careful about Simon Says syndrome, where he throws fireball, you throw fireball, because eventually this will end in one of you jumping at the other. And you don't want it to be the person that's following, right? So you don't want to have him throw a fireball, then you throw a fireball back, and then you think that he's playing the fireball war with you. How do you avoid Simon Says syndrome? This idea where your opponent throws a fireball, then you throw a fireball. Well, it's to throw reactionary fireballs. So if your opponent throws a fireball and you want to still participate in the fireball war without necessarily having to go, okay, your turn to throw a fireball. Now my turn. Please don't jump in at me. Now your turn. Now my turn. Again, please don't jump in at me. You know, if you don't want to have that weird, awkward, strange voice that I just made for that, you just throw a fireball when you visually see them throw their fireball. Your fireball is very fast to start up. Their fireball is a little bit slower than yours. So you can simply throw a fireball after they throw a fireball. So for instance, that fireball right there, you could have seen that and gone up. There's a fireball. I know we're playing really close to each other, so it's not ideal, but it is still possible. Good fireball. Another good fireball. After that forward dash, we need immediate action. You would have had it, at least in block him down in a block string, rather than forward dash into kind of like block and for an awkward second. And then here's that.
Did it, Father?
Hey, thanks for the follow, buddy. All right, Peripheral, I don't blame you. Take care, buddy. And the host. So we're getting jumped in on fireballs, a reasonable amount. Okay, this is a winning fireball. Nothing gets your opponent's attention more than a counter hit fireball because it. Not only did you hit them, but you interrupted something he was trying to do. And the knee-jerk reaction is to start to engage, especially when you do it twice in a row, is to start to engage in the air. So what do we see? That awkward kind of forward dash. Well, I need you to forward dash, crouch light kick, crouch light punch, crouch medium punch, fireball. Boom, go. Or crouch light kick, crouch light punch, no hit, crouch medium kick, fireball. But we need that forward dash. I want you to start setting up your... Remember, we talked about setting up dashes. This is probably going to be the main point of my replay analysis for you today. is how do you grant yourself the license to dash? Well, you hide your dashes behind fireballs. When your opponent's thinking about your fireball, you forward dash. That's a great way to get in a 16 frame dash. Your dash is very quick, but I need you to focus on this. And this alone for the start. If I don't already have this, I hope I don't. Execution, meter management, V skill, varying 3 levels of fireball feints. All right, thing to focus on. I absolutely need this. Setting up dashes using fireballs. So you throw a fireball, get your opponent's attention on that, then you dash, okay? Then absolutely I need you to know the max range of your dash, right? So know the distance of your dash. Immediately apply the appropriate block string. Okay, so point blank, you already know what I'm going to say on half these. Crouch light kick. Oops. Crouch light punch. That's your first hit. Confirm. If it hits, crouch light kick, crouch light punch, fierce DP. Boom, done. Simple. Okay. If it doesn't hit, crouch medium punch and or crouch medium kick, depending on whether or not you want to check them low again. You also can